I had to mute it. What's up, guys? I can say what's up, guys. Or I can say what is it, Jared? I'm like hello and welcome. I don't even know what this is. I don't even know what this is. I came up with the name of Bourbon Chat with Eli. Sounds pretty cool. I'm drinking Elijah Craig barrel proof. This stuff is really good and it's really dangerous because, like, as you can see, it's 124 proof and it's like actually really good. So it's like, let's have one glass and then a Coors Light or something because I'm gonna be hammered and then feel like trash the next day. So appreciate you if you're here. I don't have any bets. I don't think on this show. I'm just gonna shoot the shit for a while. If you guys have questions, please fill up the chat. There are a few of you in here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Appreciate you. After hours with Eli, Bobby Big Wheels, man, you are. I appreciate the hell out of you, man. I owe Izzy scary hours, Eli, right? I owe Izzy a shirt. DM me your address and your shirt size. I owe you a shirt too. You are always in here, man. I appreciate the hell out of you. Thank you. I'm probably gonna get canceled for my Greg Doyle takes on Twitter. Real quick, since nobody's probably here yet, I don't even know if anybody's gonna join. But Greg Doyle is a guy that I have a lot of respect for. One, did he say some cringy shit to Caitlin Clark? Yeah, that sounded weird, man. That sounded weird, and you shouldn't say that to really anyone, especially not in that situation. He apologized for it. I have a ton of respect for Greg Doyle, and I do not think there was actually any ill intent there, because he's also not dumb. You know what I mean? Like if that's how he actually feels, that's not the form. Like that's not. It doesn't make any sense for there to actually be like negative intentions there. You know what I mean? So I don't know. He said a lot of things publicly in articles in the Indy Star that have not gone over well in the state of Indiana for the political climate of state of Indiana, and I think he's been right most of the time. So I appreciate Greg Doyle as a person. He's just abrasive sometimes. He absolutely 100%, dude, 100%. And I don't. This isn't a Greg Doyle show. It's in a run to Greg Doyle's rescue or anything like that. Please, yeah. I understand not liking Greg Doyle. I do. I I tweeted some more things out. I went back and deleted them. It's like I don't know. I left the one tweet up of I think Greg is a great reporter and the best, probably the best and most honest sports reporter of in Indianapolis that we've had like in my lifetime. I'll just say like I played golf randomly with Ben Harmon. And for whatever reason that had an impact on me, and I thought about that round of golf a lot of time, like all the time after, and I didn't really know why. And like he like added me on 18 birdies, so I would get notifications when he like played around or whatever. And a couple of years later, it came up that he was dealing with cancer again, and Ben Harmon is a kid from Avon, Indiana, who actually ended up passing away from cancer at like really young. So I don't know. Greg Doyle has done a lot of good things for Indianapolis. So let's move on. UFC 300 was pretty crazy, right? Holy hell. UFC 300 was sick, dude. My thoughts just real quick. Alex Pereira is inevitable. I mean, he's inevitable. And like, I was kind of playing it off. Yeah, it seems like a good dude. Absolutely. How do you feel about Pacers' chances against the Bucks, especially if you're not honest? It depends entirely on which version of Tyrese Halliburton we get. Do we get October, November Tyrese Halliburton? Yeah, I'm in. Pacers in 5 or 6. January, February Tyrese Halliburton. Pacers might get swept even without Giannis. That's the question. I have no idea what the answer is, but it could go. It's going to go either one of those two ways. We get good Tyrese Halliburton, and I think the Pacers win in 5, maybe 6. Bad Tyrese Halliburton, they're going to get dog walked, might get swept. Starting one, yeah, that fight wasn't great. But I was kind of playing it down a little bit just in case I was wrong. I guess I need to fully commit a little bit more. But like I don't know how you watched film of Alex Pereira and Jamal Hill and thought that there was any chance Jamal Hill was winning that fight, especially coming back off of an Achilles less than a year ago. Like, that guy is so good. It is insane that every time that man walks into the octagon, everybody and their mom knows he's going to try to knock you out with a left hook. And pretty much nobody's been able to stop that. You know what I mean? Like, he's got the left hook. Like, he's the best kickboxer in the world, right? And what's crazy, too, is, like, Mackenzie Dern is... I said he's the best. I said he's the best kickboxer in the world. He's absolutely the best kickboxer in the UFC. He's definitely one of the best kickboxers in the world. Mackenzie Dern is one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners on planet Earth, and she can't win a fight in the UFC, right? So I don't know where I'm going with that, but like, just that punching people in the face in a cage fight is the best thing to do, and like, obviously wrestling is really important, but I think. I don't know, mate. Is jiu-jitsu overrated? It being your best skill, I think it is. Honestly, I think it is. I tweeted that out a while ago. Conference finals prediction, dude. I'm gonna be honest. I don't have a clue, man. I don't even know who's in the conference finals. I don't even have a clue. No idea, man. And then, like, on the other side of the, so I don't know how many guys on the planet are beating Alex Pereira at 205 pounds. I don't think it's anyone. I know Magomed Ankalaev is probably next, and that makes sense, and he deserves that shot. Is Alex Pereira going to still have his left hook? I don't know. Not for sure if this is UFC Focus Live, but wondering if you foresee any Discord box for next season. In what context? NBA? Yeah. NFL, yeah. That's something I try to spend a little bit of time developing. Not quite every day, but I've been working a lot on the kind of the NBA bot. Didn't get as far as I wanted it to this season, but it was kind of with the focus of, let's figure out what we can do with it and really have a dialed in kind of final product for the start of next season. I think we're starting to see a little bit of that with the baseball, with the MLB bot. I think the MLB bot is really sick. NHL, I'm going to be honest, probably not, bud. I missed the NHL part of that. If I find out there's ice soccer, yeah. If it comes down that there's like a demand for an NHL Discord bot, I can work on it. But like, This is nothing against the sport. I have no interest in the sport. I've tried. Like, I bought a I don't even remember. I can't even think of the guy's name. A Nathan McKinnon jersey. Like, cause that's the only guy that I've ever watched play hockey. I'm like, oh, like he's good, and this is fun to watch. But like, I tried to follow the Avs. I can't get into it. It's a me problem. I don't think it's a sport problem. It's definitely the least followed, at least in the U.S., of the 4 major sports or whatever. So if there's a demand for it, I can do it. But it's a timing, it's a time issue, and it's a priority issue, right? There's a lot of things above it. Just to be honest, I appreciate you being here though, Mason. And if, like I said, if there's a big enough demand and there's enough, and I have the bandwidth to get it done, I'm in. Who do you think Aspinall is fighting at UFC Manchester? I hope it's Blades. I hope it's Curtis Blades. I think he's gonna run over Cyril Gahn, man. I mean, I think he's gonna run over Curtis Blades too, but like, he's like, Cyril Gahn is not gonna be a good fight for John Jones, man. He's not gonna be or for Tom Aspinall. Like, I think Tom Aspinall honestly probably beats John Jones. But I think Blades would be more competitive of a fight, because I think because of the wrestling skills. Like, I think Tom Aspinall is probably gonna, I don't know. He can do whatever he wants to Cyril Gahn. I think he's got more power. If he wants to stand and bang with him, he can, even though Gahn's kickboxing is really good. But if he gets hit once by Cyril Gahn and doesn't like that, he can take Cyril Gahn to the ground and show us the black belt jiu-jitsu game that we pretty much haven't seen, because he hasn't needed it, because he's knocked everybody out in the first round. I think he has his way with Cyril Gahn. And then Curtis Blades, I think, is at least a little bit tougher of a fight. As we minted money from your NHL, I appreciate that. I'll be honest, I didn't really know. I know they were really good. I do know, like, I think my cheat sheets are like the best in the business across the board. So I'm happy you made money with those. Yeah. So I'd have to dig into like API feeds and stuff for NHL. I could definitely do like kind of like hit rate and odds type stuff. And honestly, I'll probably have like an odds situation. It may be a hit rate. That won't take much. But it'll probably be only things that I can like borrow from other, like, so changing the code from the NBA bot to use the hit rate and the odds checking to NHL wouldn't be much. So like little things like that, but like an in-depth like NHL only Discord bot functions, that seems a little bit like a long shot just from where I sit right now. But anything can change. RBIs over dingers this season. After like this morning, if you asked me, I would have said absolutely. Today was interesting because there was actually a lot of home runs. RBIs are kind of one of the things that I usually bet in addition to home run and a little bit. So I usually either bet RBI or 2 bases for a guy that I like to hit a home run, because hitting home runs is still pretty rare, right? So if a guy's hitting the ball hard, he's much more likely to get 2 bases or an RBI than a home run. And so I usually bet both. You think about wait, I missed something. Does Pereira actually go to heavyweight? That's a good question, Easton. If he didn't break his toe, yeah, I think they probably make that happen for 301 at heavyweight. The reason he's asking if we go to heavyweight, in my opinion, is because he's like, I just cut weight to 205. I'm not hurt, but I don't want to cut weight again in 3 weeks. So just put me in there with whoever you want at heavyweight, and I'll fight in Brazil, because that would be sick, and that card sucks. Sounds like he broke his toe at some point. I don't remember if it was in the fight or shortly before the fight. I think it was in the fight. Maybe he broke his toe or something. I don't know. He has a broken toe right now, and it seems like him fighting in Brazil at 301 is just off the table. And in which case, no, man, you stay at 205 and defend your title is kind of my take on it, because like heavyweight is kind of a mess right now anyway. I think Tom Aspinall is the best heavyweight in the world. I actually don't think I don't think Pereira beats Tom Aspinall, and I'm not even sure that's a fight that's all that interesting once it actually starts, to be honest. 2 weeks before fight broke, yeah, pinky toe. So yeah, he's not fighting at 301. And in which case, just stay at 205 and fight Ankalaev in August, whatever. When's the Abu Dhabi card? Probably in Abu Dhabi. That'd be cool. But yeah, that's kind of my thought on Alex Pereira. And I think he's gonna beat Ankalaev too. Not sure how it works on a ton of Syrians, but happy to. Oh, right on. Yeah, I appreciate it. Do you think Ballard is planning a trade and backload? I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm not sure if Chris Ballard is ever planning on anything. If I want to be honest, like in a good way. I think he's got that outcome in his mind. He's also got if this guy's there when we're up, I'm gonna take him, right? Or if it looks like this guy might be here, I'm really high on him. I'm gonna take him. If it looks like this guy's going early, or we can trade back and still get this one of these 3 guys that we like a lot, we're gonna trade back. So I don't know that his goal right now is to trade back. But like I think everything is on the table with him in the best way possible, and I think that's one of the reasons that he's at least got my respect as a GM. Yeah, Mason, I appreciate you, man. Last question, we limited. Would you consider putting Bovada odds? So it's a kind of a gray area, because like technically I think there could be, I don't know if it's like legal issues, but it's like it's not best practice is what I'll say. It's like it's not a good idea for several reasons for me to put offshore books in there. Easton has a horrible take there. What is his take? I mean, I agree with you. What is Easton's horrible take? Did he delete it? Oh, TJ McConnell. Is that it? The TJ McConnell one? Hey, like favorite bourbon, it's tough. Because it's almost like a price range thing. A bourbon is, for the most part, you get what you pay for. So I do have some like, under $60 bourbons that are my favorite. Two or three, and then like I don't know, this bourbon. Most of my expensive bourbon is given to me. Like I don't know how much this cost. This thing is awesome. If you can find Elijah Craig barrel proof, it's again 124 proof. Really, it's really good. It's really dangerous. But like anything Knob Creek, I think is really good. The Yellowstone bourbon's like $40. E.H. Taylor, that is really good. That is really good. It's expensive. It's hard to find. Blanton's is probably my favorite all around. That's kind of, but then again, there's a St. Augustine. It's like finished in port barrels. You can only buy it, I think, at the distillery in Florida and maybe a couple places in Florida. That's probably my favorite that I've had recently, at least. It's probably not super expensive. It's like $140, $160, something like that. I got that for Christmas this year. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Let's see if I can grab a picture of it. Augustine bourbon. It's like a port finish or something. Yeah, this isn't it. Maybe it's cherry finished or something. I think it looks like this, something like this. Yeah, let me grab it. Oh, it's a web. Ugh, come on, man. Let's see. Like this. Oh, that's my bank. Probably should do that. What does this work? Okay. So it looks like this kind of. It's really good. That's probably my favorite. Good question. Eagle Rare all the way. Eagle Rare, I just got. So I've had I've had like this much in the bottom of an Eagle Rare bottle for like a year and a half because I wanted to keep it on the shelf and I didn't want to like drink the rest of it and finish it. I just got, my neighbor gave me a new bottle for my birthday. I don't know when I'm gonna open. Eagle Rare is really good. Eagle Rare also, like 2 years ago, wasn't that hard to. I feel maybe I'm just misremembering, but I feel like Eagle Rare a couple years ago wasn't that hard to find, and so the price, like I feel like I had it more then, and I don't see it as much as like a novelty anymore. You know what I mean? E.H. Taylor is really good. They're all really good. I thought so Jacoby Brissett. I have 2 Jacoby Brissett jerseys upstairs in the closet, I believe. So yeah, I'm in. Florida Florida bourbon. Hit run RBI market. So in the Devils market, so the RBI market is tough for me because my data source doesn't have RBIs in it. So when I bet RBIs, it's more of, I've seen a really high correlation for guys that stick out to me for betting home runs. Also, for whatever reason, I don't actually have the data to back it up, but seemingly are much more likely to hit RBIs as well, even if they're not hitting. Because like I take into account fly ball percentage, I take into account exit velocity. So the ability to lift a ball in the air and hit a sacrifice fly, right? The ability to drive a ball into the gap with a hard hit ball, right? So, but it's tough for me to dig into that market because I don't actually have data on RBIs. So it's a little interesting. Do you think Ellie De La Cruz is the best player in the NL Central? That's a great question. NL Central, Brewers. Do the Brewers have anybody? That would be. That's a really good question. The NL Central isn't very good, right? It's not. So that helps the case. I don't know that there's anybody really on that. Like the Brewers are kind of a team that seemingly is always. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody. Are we talking best like right now, or are we talking best like if I could choose one person in the NL Central to build a baseball team around for the next decade. In that case, I don't think it's close. Let me make sure. Ellie is also, I think, still growing, definitely, as a player, right? Thoughts on capitalism, but don't get me started there. I'll get to McGregor Chandler thoughts here in just a second. If Jorge Romero, if you find some, let me try it and let me know what you think. It's kind of tough to find. If you're going to see a battle, Kraken tickets. Figure ice soccer. Hey, right on, dude. No, Portland. I get Seattle mixed up with Portland. I will probably be at Portland sometime in the somewhat nearish future in the next few years, but Seattle's not the same place as Portland. So, but maybe, you never know. NL Central. Again, if we're talking about give me a guy, give me my pick of anyone in the NL Central to build a team around for the next. I mean, O'Neal Cruz is in the conversation too. We're also assuming health, I guess, right? I think O'Neal Cruz is really good too. And just at this moment, again, if we're assuming no injuries, I guess I might take O'Neal Cruz over Ellie. And even though I think Ellie's ceiling might be a little higher, I don't know though. Logan O'Hoppe was kind of popping up. I don't know if you followed me at all last year. I'm a big Logan O'Hoppe fan, and if you watch his at bats this year, they're even better. Logan O'Hoppe is now also starting to show up in my launch stats as well. O'Neal Cruz is a fake Ellie. Explain that. So this game is over. Oh, I just read that. Yelly, if he's back in form. Yeah. I mean, Christian Yelich at one, he had a run. How long was that run of him being really, really good? I still don't know if Christian Yelich at his peak is going to be close to where I think Ellie De La Cruz ends up as a baseball player. I think Ellie De La Cruz is, if he can stay healthy and if he can it's just the at bats at this point, right? Like when he makes contact, that ball pops off the bat, man. It's crazy. But you watch some of his at bats, it's like, man, that was rough. So I don't know. Watch some Juan Soto at bats. It's worked wonders for Oswaldo Cabrera so far. But yeah, I think that's at least whoever asked that, was that Ari that asked that question, is O'Neal Cruz the best player in the NL Central? I mean he's top 3 at least. I don't know that I can find anyone that I would rather have on my baseball team in the NL Central than Ellie De La Cruz. But I think also we might have a little bit of bias because we're gambling Twitter, and he's electric for more reasons for us. I feel like maybe I don't know, but I'm a big Ellie De La Cruz fan for all of those reasons. We were talking about UFC 300. Chandler. Somebody asked about Chandler and Conor McGregor. I think Conor McGregor probably wins that fight. It's more because I don't know how good Michael Chandler actually is. Like, I feel like Michael Chandler is like kind of like Justin Gaethje, but like you take away even some of the being technical about like some of Justin Gaethje, like actually skillfulness. You know what I mean? Like I don't think Michael Chandler is as skillful as Justin Gaethje, but they kind of just fight in the same way. You know what I mean? And Conor, like I think at 170 pounds is gonna be like, I think he's gonna be bigger. Nyrox is a troll. How much sawdust can you put in? Nyrox he's here quite a bit though. Nyrox, I feel like it's been a while since I've seen Nyrox in the chat. Even though Cruz, there's nobody around him. Once Ellie gets McClain others back, he'll be better and gain confidence. So you can look at it that two ways, right? And I have no horse in this race, right? I'm a Yankees fan. Somebody asked about that. I kind of enjoy watching the Pirates because they their AAA team is in Indianapolis, and then the Reds are the closest team to Indianapolis, and their farm team used to be here. So I'm. It's not like I dislike either one of those teams. I kind of enjoy watching them, but not on a horse in this race, right? But O'Neal Cruz having nothing around him, that means that he doesn't have to see, like, pitchers don't have to pitch to him ever. There's basically almost never a situation, unless there's bases loaded, where a pitcher's like, oh, I have to throw O'Neal Cruz a strike. Never, right? And I think Ellie gets to kind of there's been a lot of limelight on Ellie, right? He's been in the spotlight a lot, but he's got a lot more. He does have a lot more around him, and there's good aspects of that. There's also bad aspects of that, right? Matt McLain, when healthy, I like Matt McLain a lot. I don't know how much better he can get, right? Like, I think he can get a little bit better. I think he's close to a ceiling where I think Ellie and also probably O'Neal Cruz, I think, are kind of just getting started. Matt McLain is the best player in the NL Central. Again, best is so relative, guys. Best is so relative. I want to be a guest on this show. I got some High Noon. High Noon is solid, man. You have the rye or the bourbon. The High Noon rye. There's like a double rye. The High Noon double rye. Am I thinking of that right? The Old Forester 1924. I think I have tried that. It's been a long time. I don't remember being super impressed with it, but I also don't remember disliking it. And if this continues to be a thing, and there's some interest, like this show, and I'm more than down to have like a call-in situation or whatever, kind of like like how Trent does, and we just all drink bourbon together and talk about stuff. Have you ordered a Caitlin Clark jersey yet? I have not. More of a Henny guy. I'm out on that, Nyrox. I'm out on Henny. To be honest with you. What were we talking about? Oh, since we're talking about fight announcements, Dustin Poirier is getting his title shot. Is he going to win the fight? Probably not. Am I going to cheer like hell for him? Absolutely. Does he have a puncher's chance? Sure. I'm just very happy for him. And I actually, I ordered the hot sauce, and at the same time, I also ordered 2 Dustin Poirier shirts. One of them, I was going to wear one, but it says, "Don't be silly, jump the gilly," and it's got his face right. And then I also got one that says, "Paid in full." It's really cool. I like his quotes after winning that interim belt. Down to drinking bourbon for any reason. Let's go. Can I compete? That's an interesting take, Nyrox. So I'm not going to completely crush you on that, because I think there is a bigger chance than most think that she's a bust, and I'll explain why here in a second. Couldn't compete in a JV high school game. That part is a bad take. That part is a bad take, because she's like the all-time leading scorer in NCAA women's basketball history. So that's tough. That's tough for me. I do think, I'm excited to have Caitlin Clark in this city. You know, I didn't have season tickets to the Fever, but I was going to probably like 10 to 15. I think there's like 20 home games. I was probably at like 10, 15 Fever games when like it was Tamika Catchings and Breon January. Like, I've got like, I was pretty involved in that scene. Yeah. But so I'm excited. I do think Caitlin Clark, she is a little undersized, and the biggest thing for me is she seems to be really streaky when I've watched her. I'm not gonna lie. Can we possibly get my Nyrox banned and bring lots of attention to the viewer? I'm not gonna lie and say I watched a ton of women's college basketball season. I did not. The couple games that I watched her, she's either on and hitting everything, or she's not and forcing up shots and missing them. Right. So that's where I get a little bit of a concern. Because the defense is going to take a step up. I think the fundamentals in the WNBA are actually, at times can be better than NBA. And she's going to have to face a whole lot better defense. She's going to be running up and down the floor a lot more. It's going to be a much harder game of basketball for her. And I hope she can tap into those hot streaks just as much. We're gonna see. I could be wrong again, and I'm not gonna predict that she's gonna bust by any means. I just think there's probably a slightly bigger chance than a lot of people are saying her that she is a bust. I think you might have taken a little too far there. But yeah, I'm all in. I have not ordered a jersey yet, though, Easton. Did you enjoy Roadhouse? I enjoyed it. I also had very low expectations. So I am kind of like a nerd, like a buff with like film and TV, and like I really appreciate like good writing, character development, like all of that. I went into it thinking this movie's gonna suck, and if I'm entertained at all, that's a plus. I was entertained. It was an entertaining movie. I thought Conor McGregor was a much better actor than I thought he was going to be. I think he's paying for it now because I think he got addicted to cocaine. That's my take. Complete hypothesis. I don't know that for sure, but I was entertained. It's not that I loved it or I thought it's going to win any awards, but sure, it's an entertaining movie. Dustin Diamond Poirier's Connor. Hey, buddy. Hey, that's the shit. All right, you were asking for Nyrox to get banned. That right there is the shit that's going to get you banned, all right, bub? We don't disrespect Dustin Poirier. Not on this program. No, sir. Is this live? Yes, sir, Dumbo. Kenneth Clark just got a studio with Nike. Yeah. She thought she might have careers. What are your thoughts on Angel Reese and Cardoso for the Chicago side? Dude, I can't do that right now on the WNBA. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not going to pretend that I'm at that level. I have no idea. I will. By the time WNBA starts and actually gets going, I might be there and be able to answer that question. Right now, I can't. McGregor as Popeye. What the hell were we talking about anyway? Max Holloway. How about that guy, man? How about that Max Holloway guy? The Nyrox, all right, can you guys just get along? We just get along with each other, and we don't disrespect Dustin Poirier. Not in this chat. Not in this chat. Max Holloway forever, man. Like, how about that guy? I had Max Holloway by decision. Worst UFC beat of all time. Like, imagine watching that fight, experiencing that as a major UFC fan, and being disappointed because you had Max by decision. I was so mad at myself for being mad at the outcome of that fight. Man, 1 second. But how about that guy, man? You know, gets dog walked by Volkanovski 3 times, and myself included, kind of thought he was just going to be a prize fighter and taking the big names and all of that. Nyrox, come on, bud. Come on, bud. Don't maybe time you out or something silly. Max Holloway, that's weird. I thought, you know, the peak of Max Holloway's career is probably over. He's fighting big name fights for money. And then all of a sudden, man, that knockout of Korean Zombie or whatever, and then this to Justin Gaethje. I did pick Justin Gaethje, or I did pick Max Holloway before. I thought this dog odds are crazy. He's actually the more skillful fighter in this fight, and that's silly. So pat my back a little bit there, but all of a sudden he's fighting Ilia Topuria. And what I'll say about this, I don't think he's going to beat Ilia Topuria because I think Ilia Topuria is crazy good. But we're now talking about, you know, 2 guys that either are currently or have been in the discussion and most people's pick for the best boxers in the UFC, right? Max Holloway, when I look at the 145-pound division in the UFC, I think even if you don't think Max Holloway is the best fighter at 145, which I don't, I think Volk is probably like still a better fighter than him. He showed that 3 times, right? Max Holloway is the worst matchup for Ilia Topuria. Again, I got in my head right now. I'm picking Ilia, and I think it's. Here's where the question really comes in, right? And here's where I really start questioning that is, if it goes 5 rounds, do you think Ilia beats Max in a decision? Because if it goes all 5, I think I actually start to lean Max because he's the volume king of the world, right? And then you have to ask yourself, yeah, we're picking Ilia probably, right? But can Ilia be the first guy to ever knock Max out? Absolutely, he absolutely can. But I think that's what it's going to take, right? I think it's probably Ilia by knockout, but I think it's going to be a hell of a ride, and I'm very excited to see it. and I don't know where it's gonna happen. It sounds like in the Sphere in Vegas, whenever that's gonna be. That's gonna be sick. I'm happy for Max Holloway. Happy for Dustin Poirier. Happy for Michael. I'm not a Michael Chandler fan. He's kind of annoying to watch. Like, I don't know. Kind of just comes over for Bellator, and like, he's kind of a can crusher. I don't know. I respect him. Even though I think it's silly for waiting this long for Conor. Hey, congrats to Michael Chandler finally getting a payday. Has it fought in what, 2 years? That sucks. He's got kids and stuff, and these guys don't make that much money. Nunes Harrison. I don't know. I'm gonna try to not get excited about that yet, because it's still there are still multiple fights that need to happen and play out the way that I think they're going to happen for that fight to happen, right? Kayla Harrison's talking about an interim title in June or July, fighting Juliana Pena. I do think Kayla Harrison wins that fight against Juliana Pena. If that happens, though, then we're talking about, and that's assuming she mentioned Raquel Pennington is hurt. Like, I'm fine just stripping Raquel Pennington. Like, everyone on the planet knows Raquel Pennington is not the best 135-pound women's fighter in the world / on the UFC roster. Like, you know what I mean? At this point, I do think Pena is better than her. I know Kayla Harrison is better than her. And if Amanda Nunes were to come back, she's immediately better than her too, right? So she's at best, the fourth best 135-pound woman in the world. But assuming Kayla Harrison gets that fight for an interim belt against Julia Pena, then, and that's June, July, then you're looking at what, probably September, October at the earliest, where Kayla Harrison has to unify the belt against Raquel Pennington. So then you're looking at, it's probably, I would be shocked if that fight happens in less than a year. I think I favor Kayla Harrison there, just because there's, like, Amanda Nunes is gonna be rusty. There were motivation issues before. How big of a donut to shave the mustache? I don't know. You can try it and find out, but probably not. There are motivation issues before. I've said before that Amanda Nunes is not talked about enough in the greatest of all time discussion. Even though she is commonly referred to as the greatest woman of all time, like, look at what she did to two divisions, man. Nobody else has done that. And I understand the level of competition was a little lower, but not at 135. So I have a ton of respect for Amanda Nunes. I think, and when Amanda Nunes hits Kayla Harrison's never been hit like that before, and I think we're going to see that. I think it's going to be a hell of a fight. But I think Kayla Harrison is going to be able to get her hands on Amanda Nunes. And when Kayla Harrison gets her hands on you, like, you're going to the mat, and it's going to be tough. I don't know. I think we're going to let the mustache breathe. A mustache tutorial? I don't know. What are you looking for, bud? I don't even know what that means, man. What else do we need to talk about? Zhang, dude, we said Riley's not watching this. He's probably in bed. But Easton and Riley were at my house for UFC 300. I had Max by decision right into one of my best friends, Riley, had Weili by sub. So you just imagine the two bad beats in a row. Like, I'm 1 second away from winning Holloway by decision, and then Zhang Weili literally makes Yan Xiaonan go unconscious and does not get the submission. The mustache is staying. Pantoja and Urseg and New. I don't know, Frankie, to be honest with you. I would lean no. I think right now Steve Ursig probably gives Pantoja the best fight out of anybody. Like, I think he just Moreno and oh my god, his name is just complete Royval. Like, I think Pantoja just has their number and has them figured out and knows exactly how to beat them. And I don't know, like, I just wouldn't give them much of a chance in the rematch. Muhammad Mokaev, I think in 2-3 years is probably going to take that belt and hold on to it for a long time. I see your question on Sarin Cade. Let me get back to it. If you've asked that a question a couple times now. But I don't know. Usyk probably gives him the toughest fight. I think Pantoja is really good, and his cardio is insane, and I think it's going to be really hard for anybody to beat him, unless you're Muhammad Mokaev in 2 years, who like learned some fight IQ and can strike a little bit more. But so I think Pantoja, but I would not be shocked if Usyk wins. Is what I'll say. I lean Pantoja, but I would not be shocked if Usyk wins. I don't know what's the number on Usyk. It might be playable. Right now, Rex, I think you do need to chill a little bit. Thoughts on Pistons rebuild around Asar and Cade. I would have questions about Asar's ceiling. I don't know how good Asar Thompson can be long term. I think he's very, very good right now and looks like a hit. If this is as good as he's gonna be, I think you're okay with that. Cade Cunningham, I think, yeah, I'm all in on Cade. I'm all in on Cade. Do you think developing well enough for pros based on OTE? I don't know what OTE is. I don't know what OTE is. Anything else we need to talk about? How about the Jalen Turner? Come on, man. Brings nothing Usyk hasn't seen. Yeah, I could see that. Other than just new, right? When's the last time Pantoja fought somebody that he hasn't fought before? And again, I'm picking Pantoja here. I think Pantoja is really good. I'm trying to play devil's advocate a little bit for Usyk because I also think Usyk is pretty good. I still don't know what OTE is. And I guess that probably answers your question that I don't know. Cool. Anybody else have Oliveira winning that fight? I need to watch it. I haven't watched it the second time. Live, I thought they might give it to Oliveira. I had it for Oliveira live. I'm not saying that's right. And rewatching it, I might come up with something else. I thought Oliveira did more damage and threatened more. Did more damage is the wrong thing. Was closer to finishing the fight multiple times, and there was not a ton of really anything done by Arman with that control time in it. What thoughts on the new gloves? We'll see. Apparently the biggest thing is the eye pokes, right? The biggest thing is the eye pokes, and if there are way less eye pokes in Contender Series when they were using the new gloves, yeah. Oliveira, yeah, he jumped. I mean, that's the thing about jiu-jitsu, right? Is like, jiu-jitsu practitioners at the highest level are fine being on their back and going guard, right? And it's tough. It's tough to win a fight like that if you don't actually get the decision and get it to a choke from your back. All right, that gets tough. Strickland Costa, that's fun. That's kind of fun. We'll see if Costa can knock him out. I don't think Costa can beat him on a scorecard. Not the biggest Sean Strickland fan, but if Costa can knock him out, sure. And I think that can happen. It's 5 rounds too, right? So that gets a little bit more interesting. If Arman Shorts were tighter, he would have had the guillotine in first. Maybe, I don't know. Wherever they go, yeah. And that's what I said on the preview show too. Is like Charles Oliveira plus 180 versus literally anybody, and I think I'm in. And I think you saw that. You ever do hit parlays for baseball? I have not yet. I was pretty successful with them last year. I have not brought them back yet. I'm not saying. First of all, so I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that I think Oliveira was robbed. Like I'm okay. I'm okay with the decision going to Arman there. I think split is right. I think out of 3 judges, I think one of them probably sees that for Oliveira. I think that's fine. 5-round fight, Charles wins that. I've thought about that. I have no idea because I think there's also a scenario where the 4th and 5th rounds look pretty much the same, where Arman takes him down, and if the judges are scoring them that way, then we might be looking at the exact same thing. So I don't know. We'll see. Golf? You guys want to talk about golf? Any more UFC questions? I love the UFC a lot more than I guess the people that care about what I have to say care for the most part. You know what I mean? I feel like most of my following is from baseball. Most of my following doesn't care about UFC. I like the hell out of the UFC. It's fun. So I like talking about it because I don't get to do it as much. Scotty Scheffler won the Masters. That was cool. I won money on that, and I didn't watch on Sunday. I don't know if you guys saw my tweet. Like, not trying to disrespect Scotty Scheffler. Like, I'm a Scotty Scheffler fan. I'm gonna get to that, Jorge. It's a great question. Scotty Scheffler fan. I enjoy watching him play. I think it's silly the way he moves his feet in the short game, crazy, and then watching them until a few weeks ago struggle on the greens, kind of crazy. But so when they were done Saturday, and I saw that Scotty was what was he, tied for the lead or had a 1-stroke lead, solo lead, I was like, oh, I don't even need to watch tomorrow. And I didn't watch. I watched maybe 20 minutes. I watched like maybe 16 and 7, or I watched a couple holes in the back 9 of Scotty. I was like, oh yeah. Yep. Easy. JB, he might win all 4 of those damn things, man. He might win all 4 of them, dude. That's crazy. He's going to win 1 more at least, I think. Scotty doesn't know. He doesn't know what? I don't know, man. And it puts golf in a weird spot right now because Tiger Woods can only play once a month. And the second best player in the world, I think, is still definitely Jon Rahm, and they only play each other for play in the same tournament 4 times a year. I mean, there for a while, Joaquin Niemann was at worst like a top, like, so it's just tough. Golf is in a tough place right now because when Scotty Scheffler plays golf, like, it's his to lose. So that's crazy. Tiger's performance, I was blown away, man, because he did not capitalize on the more playable conditions on Thursday. But his round on Friday was insanely good, man. I think he was like 1 over or something on his round on Friday. And like apparently that's like as hard as most of these guys have ever seen in Augusta National play. And I think that's where Tiger can be good, is on the really hard courses because he has all the shots in the bag still. He knows that, he knows that course really, really well. Favorite John Prine song, Clay Pigeons. Clay Pigeons, pretty easily. Yeah. What else did we? How did you feel when Andrew Luck? Oh, Tiger. So I was very impressed. I think it's just going to be tough to, on a less hilly course when he might not hurt as bad by Saturday. I also think as many holes as he had to play on Friday kind of set him back a little bit. So maybe if he just gets to play his 18 holes a day, he can come around and play a little bit better. But the round on Friday, I was very impressed with, and is not what I would expect to see from him. I think the course was playing well over par on Friday, and he still finished with a score better than Jon Rahm, George. Like he played some really good golf. Poirier at 155 if they both win. That's a great question. So I think Conor McGregor does get a title shot if he wins, and I think he does win. And that does open up some interesting questions, because then does he fight Leon in like a year for the welterweight title, or does he go down and fight? I mean, I think they're probably going to ask, no matter who the champion is at either weight class, they're going to say, yeah, I'll fight Conor because I can probably beat the shit out of him, and I'm going to make a lot of money. Whether you think that's true or not, I don't know. But thoughts on the US? Okay, Narox, you're starting to get to me, bud. You're starting to get to me, man. So let's not say shit like that anymore. And see, now you've thrown me all the way off. So McGregor, yeah. So no matter who the champion is at 155 or 170, yeah, I'm about there too, Ari. They're gonna say, yeah, I'm in. I will fight him, right? Because they're gonna think they can beat him easily, and they're going to make a lot of money. If I'm Conor, I would probably rather fight Leon Edwards than Islam Makhachev, I think. Right? And no disrespect to Leon, I just think Islam Makhachev is the best fighter we have right now in the UFC, and I'm not sure it's that close. If Poirier, but to answer your question, Ethan, if Poirier wins, yeah, I think it's probably Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, and I think we get a that'd be their fourth fight, right? And I thought their second fight should have been for the title, because the only person that only reason that at the time Habib didn't vacate the belt for that fight was because Dana was still holding on to any sense of hope that he was going to fight again. So anyway, that's kind of my thoughts. Any final questions? I thought there would be a few more baseball questions. I really enjoyed the questions you guys had. Like I enjoyed the hell out of doing this. So if you guys thought this was cool, hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll run it back maybe next week or sometime. But I like just like I like talking through the Ellie De La Cruz question. I like talking all these UFCs. Like, this was fun for me. It's fun for me. So if you guys enjoyed it, let me know, and we'll run it back. I think we'll be live tomorrow. Let's say Thursday. No, today's Wednesday. We'll be live Friday. heavyhittermedia.net/discord. Appreciate you, Nyrox. Even though you pissed me off a little bit. Are you betting NBA? Nah. Jerry will probably. Who's going out tomorrow? I don't know. There's only 5 games. How much for the must? Yeah. I'll be back. Appreciate you, Ari. Appreciate you, Jorge. Yeah, I'm gonna run it back. We'll see. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging out. It means a lot. Not a huge number here. Didn't expect much, but this was a lot of fun for me. I appreciate all the engagement in chat mostly. If there's 3 people watching and talking to me in chat, I'm having a good time. So, thank you. Good.